So how many of you are on this journey of manifesting perhaps a specific outcome, maybe with a specific person? I know a lot of you are. In fact, it doesn't really matter what you're manifesting. Maybe it's a health condition that's really bogging you down. It's obviously something that means a lot to you, that is stressing you out. And for a lot of us who are in that sort of situation, we feel like we need to do more in order to achieve the outcome. I need to saturate my mind by imagining all day long. I need to be affirming and praying to the moon and, I don't know, dancing naked in the trees and forests. I don't know what kind of techniques you guys are doing. I'm not even going to ask anymore. But how much do we really need to do? And really, is that all a myth? Because in doing more and more, we're kind of trapping ourselves in this belief that, well, we're not it when we're doing stuff. We're trying to become it. We're in a process of, right? Rather than just being. And that's what manifestation is. So could you manifest the incredible, the almost impossible, the seemingly difficult? Can you manifest all these things simply by making a strong, determined decision? This is what my client did today. She manifested an incredible outcome. Well, exactly what she wanted, essentially, was someone that she had no contact with for many years. They had no real connection. So if anything, you could have thought, 9 years, no real connection. Like, this person would have absolutely forgotten about me. There's no chance, it's been a long time, right? There's no way to gain contact. They don't have my details. I don't have theirs. We don't have each other on social media. Maybe you guys have been in similar situations, or maybe you're in a situation that's slightly different, but has a similar characteristic of time passing or seems to be impossible. You're worried you're going to be forgotten. She's going to demonstrate how simply she managed to turn things around, not just with a specific person manifestation, also a health manifestation. She's constantly testing the law. And I invite you guys to do the same as well. She is truly incredible. So do join us, spend some time with us. You're going to be motivated, and perhaps this is going to be the game changer for a lot of you. In fact, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be. We've also got our Discord community set up as well, Joseph and I. So do join us. We're spending a lot of time in there too, and I'm setting challenges to get you guys in the success mindset so that you see success in all avenues of your life. We're going to demonstrate to you how easy it is. We're constantly testing the law as well, and I've shared a few of our little successes in the Discord community too. So if you haven't already, come and join us. All the links are going to be in the description box below. Now, I'm really excited to share this. She's done really well. She also manifested, and I have a load of success stories to share, but she manifested that I would read hers out this week. I didn't know about it until I contacted her to say, I'm going to read your success story today, and she was like, right, I'm going to be there. And I knew you would, because that's what I manifested. I was like, get out of my head, girl. So there you go. She manifested. I don't know why I felt compelled to do it. Maybe as well, there's a few of you going through something similar. You were also looking for, inspired for that video, because there's a reason you're watching this video now. You were meant to, as part of your journey, your bridge to success, whatever that might be. And first up, by the way, I'm Athena Raven, just in case you're new to the channel. I keep forgetting to introduce myself, but I'm a mental health and manifestation life coach. So do understand when I say that, okay, she's done this very simply with a decision, I'm not disregarding as well the mental health aspect, which often when it comes to a specific person can very much cloud our judgment in many ways. And that's why I nurture that. I work alongside with that, because it's not always going to be easy for someone to just make a strong decision and stick to it, right? But I'm just proving that we can manifest this way. So she starts off her email. I'm having to read it from my phone because my laptop died. So she starts off with, "Hi Athena, as promised, here is my recent success story. Much more to come, of course. For my fellow viewers, a little bit of background. I've been learning about manifestation and the law of assumption for about a year now. However, it wasn't until I found your channel, Athena, and Joseph's, that it truly all made sense to me. After turning my back on all the mumbo jumbo out there, especially all the ridiculous clickbait on YouTube, I came to realize that it's all rather simple, and I started consciously proving the law to myself. I've also been coaching with Athena for a couple of months now, which has been such a game changer for me. However, I do want to note that you don't need to have coaching to live your manifestations and to be a success. Very true. You already are, oops, don't know what my phone just did then. You already are a success. Nothing is outside of you, and you can achieve anything all on your own if that's what you tell yourself. So I'm currently successfully manifesting an incredible relationship with my SP, a beautiful family, business success, travel, and the list goes on, because in my new world I can have it all. Once upon a time I would have said the words hoping to manifest, but not anymore. It's already done. Remember, your subconscious mind is always listening to you. Whilst I've since gotten back in contact with my SP, more on this later, I've been continuously experimenting with the law and manifesting random things consistently. If there is one thing you can take away from this, please let it be this: test it, guys. I cannot tell you how validating it is, proving to your own mind that this is real. Before I did this, I listened to story after story from people who had manifested incredible things. But no matter how amazing their success was, in the back of my mind, there would always be thoughts like, that would have happened to them anyway. That must be a coincidence. That's too good to be true. Surely they're exaggerating. You could have 100 people trying to persuade you from their mind-blowing experience that manifesting is real, but it will never impact your brain as much as your own tiny manifestation successes will. To truly grasp your power, you can't just take someone else's word for it. You see, this is very true. This is why I'm getting all of you guys to share your successes. I don't care how big, small, when you had it. There's a method to my madness. So she carries on. I've been doing Joe's list method for a while. I'll let Athena explain this. For those of you who aren't familiar, so Joseph Ally is my partner. We've manifested each other, kind of unbeknownst to us. And he coined this list method, something that he had established maybe quite a few years ago, whereby the method behind it, and if you watch his videos, he explains it in more detail, but she's been utilizing this list method and gaining a lot of successes. You're essentially writing down about 10 things every day for 7 days. It's 10 different things. So for example, I receive a free cup of coffee, I get the best parking spaces, a friend of mine gives me a compliment or tells me these words, I find a whatever rare coin, whatever it might be. You're always talking in present tense. Oh, like it's happened now. I think my phone just went off there. Talking in present tense like it's already happened, and you're listing out 10 items, each day listing out different 10 items to manifest. And when it comes to day 7, you will go back and look at your list from day 1, because you'll forget about it, and you can refresh your memory by looking at it. Then on day 8, you'll look at the list from day 2. And it's just proving to yourself that you don't need to do a load of techniques. You can manifest very simply by writing it down and forgetting about it, getting on with your life, and you see how things unfold and the length of time it takes for different things to unfold. But anyway, there's more details on his video about that. So that's the list method that she's been utilizing. And she says that she has seen hundreds of random but fun manifestations come to fruition. I started small, manifesting things like a specific parking space, bumping into certain people, hearing specific weird words, and time again it would happen. Over time, once my ego couldn't argue anymore that I was manifesting all the time, I ramped it up, manifesting contact from friends I hadn't heard from in ages, money out of nowhere, and even the end of a long-term health condition. I had asthma my whole life. I didn't want it anymore, so I just firmly decided that I no longer had it. I stopped labeling myself with it, and almost instantly, the symptoms stopped. After being told I needed to take preventative medication every day since I was little, I haven't had any medication now for over 6 months and no symptoms. I just tell my body that I'm in perfect health, and if the old asthma narrative ever comes to my mind, I calmly remind myself that I don't have it anymore. However, my most recent experiment has been the most persuasive to me. Not that I needed any more persuading to this point. I wanted to do a manifestation in relation to past relationships, as this is something I would have felt a lot of resistance to at one point. I decided that I would hear from a past ex that I had dated whilst at university. Now, this was nearly a decade ago, and I wasn't currently in contact with any of them. It included about 4 people. So there's 4 people that she dated when she was at uni, and this was maybe one of 4. I didn't do any techniques. I didn't do any affirming. I just decided. I made a firm decision that at some point, one of them would get in touch with me. I didn't try and work out how or why. That simply wasn't my problem. I know a lot of you will want to know specifically how I did it. I said it to myself once, like a command, no force or deep emotion, almost as if I was deciding what I wanted to have for dinner. Then I reminded myself of it the next day when it came to mind, like, oh yeah, I know that will happen. After that, I forgot about it, not on purpose, but I just didn't think of it again. Probably because it carried no weight. I saw it as fun, and I didn't burden the manifestation with pressure. 2 weeks later, I received an Instagram follow request from the first guy I dated at university. He was one of 4. I remembered my manifestation and I thought, success. But then I thought, hang on, no, I said I'd get a message. So again, I made the decision that he would DM me. A few days went by and no message. I think to myself, well, surely he'd have messaged by now if he was going to reach out. But I remembered my power and again, simply just decided, no, I know he's going to message me. I vaguely planned out an imaginal scene in my head whilst driving home that I planned to do that evening. I wouldn't ever suggest manifesting a message from an SP, by the way, but I didn't want anything with this person. I simply saw it as an experiment of the law. That night, before I even had a chance to do the technique, he messaged me asking how I was doing. So essentially, I did visualize it once, very flippantly, very effortlessly. I just saw the message come up on my phone in my mind. It's important to note that I haven't spoken to this person for 9 years. We didn't even date long. In all honesty, I'd call it more of a fling. I had no connection with this person anymore, and I hadn't been thinking of him at all during that time. What I'm trying to say is it hadn't been a deep, heartfelt romance that was bound to rekindle. And we have no mutual friends. We don't live nearby. There's essentially no need for him to contact me after all this time. There is only one reason he did, because I manifested it. I would have assumed it was harder manifesting someone I have no bond or ties with, and I did it easily. It shows me yet again that we are all connected, and you can truly manifest movement in anyone, no matter the circumstances, because circumstances only exist in your mind, and I had chosen to remove them. Oh, I keep losing my place because this is so small. This font. What was it? Oh my goodness, remove them. I doubted, of course I did. So she did have doubts. Of course I did. When I made the decision, I didn't know 100% that it would happen. And I could have come up with 100 reasons why it wouldn't, very easily when you look at the context. But I just didn't. I allowed my mind to think it was easy and achievable. What it also showed me was that I didn't need to keep on reminding my subconscious mind about it. It's like asking your friend to do you a favor and thinking that you need to remind them incessantly so they don't forget. Eventually they're going to shout at you, I know, I won't forget, just give me a chance and I'll get on with it. This is like your subconscious mind. It knows your desires. Set an intention, decide it's done, trust for the most part that it will happen, and don't overcomplicate it with your mind. When you think about it, because you will, that's normal, just gently remind yourself of your end. Don't force copious affirmations down your throat. Just feel into believing that it's done. You can have doubts and you don't have to believe 100%. Just choose to see it happening. When you book a holiday, you choose a destination you prefer. You have yet to buy the ticket or step foot on the plane. So essentially there is nothing in your 3D confirming that you will go. But you know you've decided you see yourself on that holiday regardless of what your current circumstances tell you. You can't see into the future either. So essentially you don't know 100% that you'll go, but that doesn't get in your way. Manifestation is just the same. You make a choice and you see it as your future regardless. With regards to my SP, things changed when my outlook changed. I stopped hoping that it would happen and I started telling myself it was already done. There is nothing more I needed to do. I looked back and I realized that searching for technique after technique had manifested perfectly into me needing to search for more techniques. that missing him and being aware of the separation had again manifested perfectly into more separation. So again, I decided to change the narrative. No more waiting, no more separation, no more obstacles. In turn, I stopped worrying that I was going to mess things up. And I genuinely felt into the relationship that I desired because I'd given myself the space to. I told myself that it was easy, effortless, and everything works out for me. No matter what your 3D is telling you, choose to focus on your end. You don't have to be delusional, and it doesn't need to be hard work. To avoid Athena having to make this video an hour long, I'll write with a separate SP success story, but honestly, it's as simple as you see what you expect to see. And people act in the way that you assume them to. Look at anyone in your life and you'll see this is true. So gently turn your head to the story that you choose. Each time you do, it'll become more and more natural until one day it is your dominant state without you even realizing it. If you have a day where you feel shit, I don't really use these words, but shit, I'll just use it. Don't worry, tell yourself it doesn't matter, that nothing can get in the way. And as Athena says, it's much better to allow yourself to feel your feelings. You don't need to force anything. Athena, I can't thank you enough for all the knowledge and support. Not only have you been a wonderful coach, but it's like having a friend along on my journey with me, which makes it even more enjoyable. Thank you, Angel. I hope people find my story helpful and encouraging, especially as this can be a lonely journey sometimes, but I know that you're not alone. Anyone who writes in with a success story is no different to you. We all have the same power within us. Just choose that you're next. Lots of love and happy manifesting all. Thank you so much, sweet Angel. So I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And as you can see, it can be as simple as making a strong, firm decision and sticking to it with a level of expectancy of this end result. Now, we're never going to believe it 100%, and you're not meant to. Everyone's trying to take a lot of time and effort trying to force themselves to believe something that isn't in fruition yet. You're even trying to play a delusional game. That's different to a sort of inner knowing, stepping into the state, being open to a possibility, subjecting yourself to it because you can, and enjoying that, feeling that out, because that's another way you can do it. Yes, I've manifested things by knowing and deciding 100% it's going to happen. And then there's other things that I had a lot of doubt about and a lot of anxieties about, but I dared to imagine anyway my ideal outcome and to be open in my heart and soul as I went into that, while still being anxious during the daytime, and I still managed to get my results. We don't have to be all perfect, and I hear a lot of these motivational speakers out there. Like I say, they're fantastic, but there's one at the moment that I got a bit of a shock from, because I realized everything he was saying was regurgitated from someone else's video. And he plays a good game, he talks a good game, and it's great, but of course then he's feeding and he's putting into everyone that you've got to be this and you've got to believe 100%, and that causes a lot of pressure, because it's not always possible, because we have to accept that we come with old stories that we have wired into us over and over again that become our beliefs, become our truths. And yes, it can be simple to change an old story with the right truth. I've worked with people who I've shifted their state within minutes. I've changed their old beliefs within minutes. Those of you who have worked with me, you know what I'm talking about. You can comment below too. That's how simple it can be. So you're not stuck. You're never stuck with a belief. You're never stuck being the way that you are now. If you don't like it, you can change it, and you can change it simply by just deciding, like she did with asthma. I decided I'm not the person who has it anymore. I did that when I had urticaria. It was urticaria, and I think it was also mixed with eczema, they were saying, but doctors didn't really know 100%, but that was like chronic hives. It was horrific. And every time I would have an outbreak, which seemed to be more and more regular, it got worse and worse and was spreading all across my body. It was just unbearable. Couldn't sleep for the amount of itching I was going through, and the inflammation was just, it was just awful. So I just decided one day, I was like, this is the last time. This is the last time that I have this. I'm not having this anymore. This is not my condition. Like, I don't want it. Very sort of similar. It was just like, this is not me. I'm not having it. This is it. And I tell you what, I have never had a single outbreak since. And it's been a couple years, I think roughly about 2 years since my last outbreak. And I was getting them every couple of months. I don't know. They never even knew what I was allergic to. I didn't change anything. Didn't change my diet. Still live in the same place. Same thing. All the same. So a lot of it is this power of the mind and the power of your decision. What do you choose to focus on? Who do you choose to be? You don't have to believe 100%. Belief comes after the manifestation has happened. This is why it's so important as well to keep testing it. For those of you who are struggling with this whole having faith in the law and faith in yourself, test it. And that's why I'm asking all of you to submit your success stories, because the more that you think back to the successes you've achieved, the more you're going to see, oh yeah, I did succeed with that, with getting that apartment, getting that job, getting that SP, and I didn't know it was going to happen. In fact, I forgot about the intention I set. In fact, I didn't believe it would happen in the end. I've had manifestations that I completely dropped, and then I was just like, you know what, I've changed my mind. I'm not even sure I want it anymore. In fact, I don't even believe I could ever get it. And it still came to be because I'd saturated myself enough with it. I experienced it within. It had to therefore be expressed without. So I really hope that this helped you guys who are on this journey. Thank you again to my client for sharing that success. And like I say, she's on her SP success journey. I've seen the growth from no contact, nothing going on, to now things are starting to hot up here. So she's going to have an incredible success story to share with regards to that. Thank you all of you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.